And believe it or not, the first thing that you have to get acquainted to is that I cut my locks today. And yeah, you gotta embrace the fact that I do not have my locks any longer. How ironic is this topic today on our motivation for success? If you've been struggling with embracing change or have a hard time getting used to change, I think, my friend, this video is for you. Keep watching. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Yeah, okay, let me straighten out something here. The video is definitely not about my hair. It's definitely not about me cutting my locks today on November 12th. Yes, I'm recording this on the night of November 12th. Yeah, and so I don't wanna talk about my hair because this is not what this video is about. I will probably share my hair story at a different setting on a different time, right? How about that? So, but I'll definitely give you a heads up when I'm ready to share the story about my hair, because believe me, there's a story. I have a story for everything. Yeah, so yeah, Noki, it's me. Yeah, it is me. It's me. Yeah, only that now I have silly hair, right? Yeah, Noki here. If this is your first time, hey, you are so very welcome here in this home. Consider making frequent visits here, because on this channel I talk about personal finances, making and saving money in the comfort of your home. However, once a week, at the beginning of every week, God willing, I always like to start us off with some motivation for success, because yeah, we can load each other with all the information, with all the nagging and pushing. Hey, start this, do this. But what's important for me and what I've come to realize is that people need motivation, and motivation is very, very important for us to succeed. And some of these topics, actually most of the topics that I talk about on the motivation for success, they are practical real life topics that we experience on a day-to-day basis. For example, the embracing change thing, it affects us, guys, every single day, whether we are alert or not. A change is happening to us every single day. While we are sleeping, change is happening. Our cells are rebuilding. The growth process is happening. That is change, and it continues to happen. So today I want to talk about embracing change. I want to talk about that change usually that we do not have control over, a change that can be imminent, like not imminent, but a change that can come all of a sudden. Yeah, sudden change. I'm talking about forced change. I'm talking about change that you do not have control over. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I want to talk about embracing change, and you want to stick around till the end of the video, because I'm going to give you some tips on how you can embrace change in a way that is going to be healthy for you. And so as a result, getting to our topic, I want to focus on embracing change to turn even negative change to positive change. Because guys, the truth is, it's how we look at things, it's how we view things, it's how we perceive things. I love that word. Yes, it's how we perceive things, because you can give 2 people or 3 people or 5 people or whatever number of people the same scenario. Each person is going to perceive the scenario different. Even when you ask them questions, they might tell you a different story depending on who is sharing with you. So I really want to talk about embracing change, because I noticed that if we do not talk about change as your motivator, as your friend, I'll deflect somehow. So today, let's talk about embracing change. Think about the last change that you didn't have control over and how you dealt with it. How did you deal with the change that happened to you that you didn't have control over? Did you turn that change into a positive experience? Yes, there's a change that could happen to a group of people. We are currently still in this global change, this change that happened. I know YouTube doesn't like the word, we cannot say the C word, but this change, that global change that happened to us at the end of 2019, believe it or not, it was already happening. That's why the name of it has a 19 at the end. But it came to us. It was publicized to the whole world in 2020. I clearly remember that I was coming when the news broke. We were still in Arizona winding up our annual conference, our annual women's conference in March, of every year. So we got the news and I got home, and the next day, was it the next day or that same evening, believe it or not, my friends, the whole United States went on shutdown. The airports were locked down. So we just made it home, and then this big change happened. So the reason why I want us to talk about change is change can affect the way you think. Change can affect what you do. It can affect your circumstances depending on how you view it. So I want you to embrace change in a positive light. Whatever change happens to you, I want you to embrace it. I want you to get used to it. I want you to look at that change with a positive magnifying glass, okay? Look at that change with a positive outlook. Look at change as something that is going to work for us, for you and I, in the long run. Because believe it or not, when a global change happens, usually there's panic and all that. Even some changes, it doesn't necessarily have to be a global. It can be change in your family. At times change comes when we least expect it. This could be somebody being laid off, let go. This could be someone losing their loved one. It's always not easy to embrace change, but the reality of it and the fact about change is we have to get used to it. It was in the recent days that in the recent months that I realized that, you know what, change is not always bad. And I realized that most changes in our lives, most things that change in our lives, usually they are good for us. For example, here in our condo building, we early as, oh my gosh, now I don't remember. I think was it last year or early this year? Now I don't even remember. I want to say sometime last year, the management was changed. The whole management was changed. The whole management team was let go, and well, some people were affected, and some other people were not necessarily in management also had to be let go. And we got new management in this building, in our condo building. And guys, I'll be honest with you, at first that change was so painful to me. I couldn't get myself to a point where I could see anything positive about it. Even when the transition process was happening, when the handover, the whatever was going on in the office, the handing over of the books, the accounts and all that, when it was going on, I was just having so much pain inside, because I had gotten so used, and which is what all of us, we really like to be acquainted to people. We like to get used to certain routine, want to get used to certain people. You walk into an office, you want to see some certain faces, but now here the change had to happen. But months later, I would say thank goodness for that change. It was well worth it, and we are loving it, and we are in a better off position right now. So what change is going on in your life? Look at that change and see how you can, even if it's something that is within your control, see how you can turn it for the good. For example, the change that happened with the lockdown all over the world. For some of us online business owners, that was the best time for us, because guess what, I think I've mentioned it in my past videos, not motivational, but the other videos that I do. So what happened was, when the pandemic happened, people were locked into their homes. That means more and more people started or continued to shop online. For who were already shopping online, they actually increased their online shopping. And so for online business owners, this was an amazing time, because business is really boosted up, and we had to look at things that people needed during the time of the pandemic, of course, that were allowed to be sold online, because some of the things were so controlled. Things like hand sanitizers, gloves, masks, all those things were highly controlled if you were selling on a platform like eBay. And even some other things, random things, like, you know, even some toiletries, unbelievable. But for the most part, whatever we're allowed to sell online, we did great. Businesses just more than doubled for most people. Yeah, so that was a negative change that turned out for our good. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to think about change as something good is happening, even though at that particular moment you are not seeing the good that is happening. Look at it, or tell yourself, convince yourself that something good has to come out of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then the tips that I want to give you as to how to manage change, or to turn it into a positive. Focus on the positive. Whatever change comes your way, that negative mind that comes to you, turn it into a positive and see how you can make it work for you, how you can embrace it to turn it for good, rather than just look at what is at the negative aspects of that change. And remember, guys, whatever we dwell on, it magnifies and it grows. So no matter how little or how small or minute that positive mindset is, feed on it, dwell on it, and in due time you're going to realize that, oh, this was good after all. So I want you to focus and think, just dwell on the positive aspects of that change. No matter what kind of change it was, focus on the positive. And the other thing that I want to throw in here before I move on to the other way of how you can embrace change, a tip that I want to give you on how you can embrace change and turn it for the better, is people not being able to go to church. But guess what happened? I know you're going to attest to this. We had more and more meetings via Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had this platform just booming, WhatsApp calls, face-to-face, whatever, FaceTime, or whatever you want to call it. All these video calls, they kind of skyrocketed. And what did that mean for churches and for small groups? We got to connect with more people than we could have if we were meeting in person. I'm talking especially about churches. Most people were able to connect. People who couldn't otherwise be able to go to a church location, they are able to do church on Zoom. They are able to attend those good meetings, those midweek meetings, Bible studies, because of the online platforms that allow a group of people to get together as video conference calls, or just phone calls, like conference calls. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's not just crying about, yes, people are dying. That is said, we cannot deny the fact that we have lost a lot of people that we respect. Personally, I do not want to undermine the fact that we have lost loved ones, we have lost a lot of people. However, life still has to go on. We still have to say, okay, with these days or months or years or centuries, decades that we have on this earth, how are we going to turn this into a positive? And you can do whatever you need to do to make sure that whatever changed, no matter how bad it was or no matter how bad it seemed to be, you turn it for the positive. Okay, another tip, I'm just going to give you this one more tip and then just wrap it up. So another tip for you to be able to embrace change and turn it into a positive experience is cultivate big picture thinking. Yes, if you get this big picture thinking, if you are a big picture thinker, yeah, you know, it's similar to the other point. So my apologies, I have to insert another clip here. The camera cut off when I was talking about big picture thinking. Yes, big picture thinking, what I want you to do is whenever you are faced with a somewhat of a negative change, what may appear as a negative change, I want you to practice what John Maxwell calls big picture thinking. Big picture thinking means you are looking beyond the now. Yeah, you are looking at the bigger picture. See more than what is happening right now. Look at the positive things that may come later on. Yeah, have a bigger picture, have a bigger view, have a bigger perspective on what may come out of whatever that situation or circumstances. Yeah, so I want you to definitely focus on the positive. Yeah, stay focused on the positive no matter what, or no matter how small that positive reason or that positive aspect is. Feed on it, it will grow. And then practice the bigger picture thinking. That is definitely going to help you out, and you can turn any bad situation or any challenging situation into a positive experience. So yeah, that is what I can say about the big picture thinking. You can actually check out John Maxwell's book on, is it called The Power of Positive Thinking? You can get it for free right here on YouTube as well. Okay, I hope this helps. What major changes have you had to experience, and how did you turn that change into a positive experience? Are you right in the middle of a change right now? This could be moving from one state to another state, from Chicago, from Illinois, cold Illinois, or cold Wisconsin, cold Minnesota, moving to Florida or to some hot island over there. Or it could be moving to a different country, like my experience when I moved to the US over 20 years ago. Yeah, that's how old I've been in this country. Yeah, more than 20 years ago, I had to leave my job that I was so comfortable in, and I had worked there for 10 years, and I had to make a decision to move and make a change and start life all over again. And that change was well worth it, my friend, I tell you. So at times we have to initiate these changes, because what happens is when we get too comfortable in whatever the routine or the daily, the way we are used to doing things, we can hinder growth. Change usually it brings about growth. When you change something, some aspect of your life, with me it was moving to the States. I changed, and little did I know that being in the States was going to benefit me in more ways than one. And some of the decisions that I have made in my life have resulted in such huge changes that, you know, somebody will be like, whoops, are you sure about that thing that you want to do? So change has some risk in it. It comes with risk. However, if we do not risk making changes in our lives, we risk being stagnant, we risk not growing, we risk not improving, we risk not moving to the next level. So change overall, for me, I think I always want to look at a change as a good thing, because change brings about a lot of things that you may not even be aware of until you are going through that change. So I want us to really focus, practice that big picture thinking, and focus on look at the positive that may come out of that change, no matter what kind of a change it is. And as I was thinking about this topic, I was like, oh my goodness, right from the time the miracle of conception and the baby growing in the mother's womb, all that involves change. And then that change, the baby gets comfortable being in that nice warm dark environment, and then when the baby is born, when the mother pops, then that's a huge change, especially if the couple is a young couple. They have to get used to this new bundle of joy and make adjustments for this new change in their home. And if they have other children, then the siblings have to get used to, they have to embrace and receive this change that has happened in their family. Even when we are sleeping, time is changing, and there are some processes that are happening in our bodies that are resulting in changes in our looks, and because of that change, and because of some of the change that we do not control, that's why we can only live one day at a time. And that one day, like November 12th, 2021, there is never going to be another one. That means change is still going on. The change is progressive. I don't want to look at change as the opposite. Change is progressive, and we have to roll with the punches. If you wanna put it in that way, you have to move along, adjust, and do whatever necessary things you need to do in your life and in your family's life. Your business, what changes do you need to make? Because if you haven't made any changes in a long time, there could be some problems there. Yes, like for example, when this global change happened, airports had to change, the way we travel had to change, the way we meet had to change, the way we greet had to change, the way we just do everything had to change. We had to cover our nose and mouth, and just abide by the rules so as to protect us from getting the deadly virus. So my friend, yeah, as you can see, I'm so very passionate about change. Change is not always bad. Change can be good. Change for the most part is very, very good, and I want you to look at it in a positive light and embrace change. Focus on the good. Silence that negative, the negative mindset. Silence it and focus on the positive, because you do have a choice. You can either choose the positive or you can choose the negative. The choice is entirely up to you, my friend. And then practice that big picture thinking. See beyond this negativity that you are experiencing right now, that you may not even have control over, and just focus on moving on to the next stage of whatever, whether it's your life or your business or whatever it is. Thank you so very much, my friend. So I want you to leave a comment and tell me what kind of change are you going through right now, or are you anticipating some change to come about in your family pretty soon? Is there a baby on the way? Or is there new business plans, or are you changing how you are doing your business? All those are changes, and I want you to embrace change, get used to change, just like you get used to see me in my silly hair. Thank you so very much. Remember to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, and this video may actually help somebody who needs it right now. Please share, post it on your WhatsApp status, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, yeah. And don't forget to follow Mompreneur Lady on socials, on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so very much, my friend. With that being said, always be kind. It's an order. I am not giving you an option to be kind, okay? Yeah, let's try. At times it takes a lot because of whatever we may be dealing with, or the circumstances or the people we may be dealing with. It can be challenging to always be kind, but let's be intentional and try by all means to be kind. And remember